Choosing a wrong school can quietly ruin the next 2 years of your life. Sounds a bit dramatic, right? But I've seen so many brilliant students struggle because they chose wrong schools in their class 11th and class 12th. First of all, you are all done with your board examination, your 10th class board examination. So welcome to the next phase of your life. It's like a checkpoint in your life, right? 10th boards tick. Now you are moving to the next phase, new subjects, new goals, new dreams. And before you start that journey, let me ask you a question. How many of you are still stuck on the question of stream selection? Whether you should take science in math or biology, or you should take commerce or humanities. A lot of students spend days and weeks thinking about this. But at most nobody spend any time on thinking what is the right school for them. Choosing a wrong school in class 11th and class 12th can ruin your confidence, can ruin your future, or it can either build your future and build you ready for the real world outside. Right? And even these schools contribute a major part in you clearing the exams like JEE, NEET, KCET, KCET, or even for commerce students we have CA, CS, right? You have to think about all this while choosing a good school. So today, this video is going to be a little bit off the topic, and we'll see what are the 5 biggest mistakes students make while choosing a good 11th, 12th or PU1, PU2 school. Right? So let's look into that. The first very big mistake students quite do is choosing school based only on friends. Now, a lot of you are like, ma'am, we don't, but there are people who do. My friends are going there, so I'll join that school. Your friend is choosing commerce, you are choosing science. Maybe that school has good faculty for commerce, but not for science. The infrastructure that science requires is such a vast, is such a costly, let's say, thing. Right? So you have to choose your school based on the stream you are selecting, not on your friends. Beta, friends do stay. Friends are an important part of your life. I get it. But your career is as important. Okay. Now, what you should, on the other hand, focus for commerce and arts students, I want you to focus majorly on what kind of teachers they are teaching there in that school, for the experience those teachers have, and what are the results of that school. How many students of that school actually cleared the CA exam, even the final or the foundation, the intermediate, whatever, but they did clear because their basics were strong. And that's where school comes. When your basics are strong, you learn your basics from school. That is why it is important to focus on a good school. And the major part the thing plays is your seniors' advice. Whoever your seniors were, whatever school they studied from, go talk to them, ask them about the teachers, about the infrastructure. Okay, now this was commerce and arts. Talking about science, a very big thing that differentiates both is the infrastructure. See, teachers are same, experience is same, infrastructure. For science, you require some very good gadgets, some very good experiments for chemistry, for bio, for physics, and all of that is very essential to make a school good for the science career, right? I shouldn't say this, but the school where I was studying was not very good in infrastructure, and I took obviously science, right? So when you are choosing a school for science, focus heavily on how their labs are built. Again, talk to your seniors, right? How their labs are built, how much on what frequency do they get you to the labs, do they let you do the experiments. So all that you get from where? You get from your seniors. Right? I know friends are important, but friends will stay with you. If they are good friends, they'll stay with you for life. If not, after 2 years, even if you sat with them every day, they won't be there. So if you are good friends, focus on your career first, and your friendship will remain intact, because your career will stay for the next 40-50 years. It will shape who you actually are. right? Second biggest mistake students do is ignoring the faculty quality. I told you faculty is very important. So what students do check, they check what building is, the campus is fascinating or not, AC classrooms are there or not. But what you should actually focus on your faculty quality. Teacher is greater than everything. Now again, I told you infrastructure is important, but if it's a school where it's massive infrastructure, so many machines, but there is no teacher to use it, I'm not saying the teachers are not eligible to use it, but there are some frictions everywhere, right? So if you are not able to use that infrastructure, there is of no use, right? So make sure for that you are contacting your seniors. Now what you should look at, you should look at the teachers. Are teachers experienced in class 11th and 12th syllabus? If they are studying there, if they are teaching there, obviously they are, but is the teaching method matches the wavelength of your understanding method, right? That is very, very important. There are very good teachers out there, but some teachers you like, some you don't, because you are also a different person. So in that school, that teacher is good or not, how will you say? From your seniors, right? So make sure you have good friendship with your seniors. Then do they teach for competitive exams like JEE and NEET? Now if your target for science, if your target is JEE or NEET, so you can choose a school. There is a school who is integrated course, who teach you for PU1, PU2, like Diksha Vedantu schools here. They teach you for PU1, PU2, +1, +2, as well as they give you coaching for JEE, NEET as well. So if you want to go there, if you want to go to a path where you want to clear these exams, then obviously these schools are better. If you, on the other hand, you have some different plans for your future, then you can ignore this point, right? Are results consistently good? See, there are lots of kids who are good in studying, so no matter with from whom they study from, they'll get good marks. But are the results of that school consistently good? Are they consistently producing good AIRs in JEE, NEET? If you want to go there, are they consistently producing AIRs in +1, +2, right? So you have to go through it, right? Next we have, if the environment is casual, your focus will slowly disappear. If I am sitting with a person who is constantly doodling on his notebook, who is constantly on his phone, if you are allowed or not, who is constantly in some other activity rather than focus on teaching, rather than focus on studying, then obviously at some point it will affect you, right? This obviously is a topic that choose your friends wisely, choose who you sit with wisely. But if the environment of the school is like that, if they entertain someone or something like this, that they don't care about what you are doing, they just want to come, teach and go, then that will affect you badly. Okay, this will affect the 2 years of your life, because you will not learn how to be attentive. You will learn how to discard from what do you say, what is that word, how do you disappear in the classroom, in your dream world, right? So that should not happen. You should not be distracted in the classroom. That's a major skill issue these days in kids. Okay, you are studying in the classroom, but your mind is somewhere else. But if you sit with some person like that, it will eventually going to affect you, right? Mistake number 4, before that, what are the questions do you need to ask to choose a good school? Is, are students serious about their studies? How will you do that? Of course, again, your seniors. See, I point this point a lot out, point this so much hard effect on seniors. Why? Because they are in that situation, they have seen, they have lived in that school, right? So no one can know better than them what kind of environment does that school provide. Okay, do toppers study there? If the topper of your class is going there, or if you are the topper, you better be seeing if the toppers of your senior or your super seniors went there, right? So you have to see that. Is there regular testing and revision? That is a very main point. If the school is not conducting regular tests, they are not analyzing you, and if they are not analyzing you, that means they don't really care. These words are very harsh, very dramatic, but it's your future for next 2 years. Okay, so make sure sure you look at these things with very seriousness, very carefully. See, if you go into a good school and there you play, you hang out with your friends, that's fine because teachers are good. But if you go into a school whose environment is like this, that every day you are bunking the class, you are going out just playing, not studying, then that's a problem, right? How will you do this again? Your seniors, talk with your seniors, please. Okay, next, now we have mistake number 4, no structured study system. There is no detail to what kind of chapters are going to go into your mind first. Without any structure, students waste most of the time without even realizing that they are not studying in a proper structured manner. They are not studying with the right approach, right? So no direct focus on important topics. They're just teaching as the topics come by. That's a major problem. Then lose information about career ahead. They are not providing you enough information that you took science. Okay, in science there are so many careers. I've posted a great video on career selection, right? Careers in 2026, so you can go watch that. So there is very loose information about which career you can go to in commerce. After commerce, people are like, you can go BCom and you can do CA, no third choice. But there are lots of streams in these days, especially the modern world. You can go into data analysis, fintechs, you can go even into video editing for the financial YouTube channels or all those things, because you have the knowledge of that domain, right? So there are so many things you can go into. You can go watch the my video. It's like career selection for 2026, right? So go watch that video. And next point, we have no focus on tests. Again, tests are very, very, very important to analyze, to school to analyze you, and for yourself to analyze yourself, right? Next, we have mistake number 4. Now, what you should focus on while choosing a good school is weekly test should be there. Doubt solving is a very important point. They should be taking classes for you to solve your doubts. Paper revision plan, right? And then previous year questions practice, all that we do on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe the YouTube channel, right? Okay, next we have mistake number 5, no competitive exam preparation. Now this point is optional. If you are someone who is looking to prepare for competitive exams, then you should focus on what school you are going to, so that they also teach you in such a manner that they want you to clear these competitive exams, right? So if your school does not prepare you for the competitive exams, you will struggle later. You will have to drop out a year. You will have to waste that crucial time of your year, right? So make sure you don't do that. Now, what exactly do they do? Because in many schools they only teach board syllabus, and that's not a bad thing. They are built for that. They teach board syllabus, so that's only NCERT level. But in schools they have integrated courses for preparation for JEE NEET, so they'll give you a higher level of preparation for KCET, JEE NEET, CA. They'll give you concept plus application. They'll give you so many questions to solve, so that from the very first day you are preparing for the most important exam of your life, right? Now all these are very important. So what to do, what to take care of? Take out your pen and paper and write these down. First of all, talk to your seniors, ask them about the teachers, ask them about the infrastructure. If your science lab has enough experiments, has enough time given to those experiments by the teachers, are teachers skilled in those experiments, right? Then competitive exams, if you want, you can ask them if the focus is on competitive exam or not, and how are their results, right? Then for arts, you can go into fashion, interior designing, graphic designing. So you can go into a school that focuses on designing, right? If you are very clear that I want to go into designing, then you can choose a school which is focused on designing, which is focused on improving your art, improving your logical and intellectual brain for that designing, right? So you can choose that school previously, right? And then your budget, of course, a big thing for you as well. I know it is important in today's life, so make sure you choose a school that is good for your studies, of course, that is in your budget, in your pocket. and which has good teachers, good infrastructure for science, good teachers for commerce, for arts, and if you want to give competitive exam, they have that facility too, right? So make sure you're choosing a school that fits your personality, right? That fits your dream for the future, that aligns with your dream, right? If you choose the wrong school, it can ruin your confidence, it can ruin the 2 most important years of your life, right? Kids, I'm not here to scare you, right? But I'm here to just warn you that these are the things that you have to take care of, right? That is it for this video. I hope you choose a school that flourish you, that give you so much success in your life. Okay, that is it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Tata.